All right, hi guys, this is Miss Corrales again, doing the video on the square. So I again, just like yesterday, I'm gonna apologize for any background noise that you guys hear. And today, I'm actually not even at my house, so just so you guys see, I'm actually at my mom's house, so you can say I'm at the OG parallelogram. Okay, she's my OG parallelogram. That's where I come from. It's my mom's house, and I'm trying to get everybody who is here to like go away and leave me alone in the kitchen for a little bit, but we'll see if that happens. Okay, so let's do this as quick as possible. So we're talking about the square, and if you guys were in class today, you guys can see that we filled this out and we added nothing extra. There's no other boxes here to say that the square has any extra properties that we haven't seen already. And like we said, the square is like that perfect third child, right? It has everything from the parallelogram, everything from the rhombus, and everything from the rectangle. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill these babies out. When we have a parallelogram has two pairs of parallel lines, just like, right, it's from the parallelogram. So this has the same thing. And we can go ahead and do those markings so that you guys can see that the top line is parallel to the one on the bottom, and then we have, and again I'm trying to do this with one hand, okay guys, the line on the left is parallel to the line on the right. Okay, pretty easy. Now what is the second property of a parallelogram? Opposite sides are parallel. No, we already said that. It has parallel lines. Opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides are congruent. Okay, and we have those shown over here with our little tick marks. So one tick mark, one tick mark, one tick mark, one tick mark. Opposite sides are congruent and opposite sides are congruent. Wait, but now I did all four, so what does that mean? That just means that this kind of has also that rhombus. Rhombus has four congruent sides, so it gets those as well. It has four congruent sides. Okay? Now, our next property that we have up here, it says opposite blank are blank. Opposite angles are congruent. Okay, opposite angles are congruent. And so here we actually see the angle marks being these 90-degree boxes, correct? And it is because they are 90-degree angles. Where does that get this from? It gets it from the rectangle. It has 90-degree angles. So you guys are gonna say, Miss Corrales, you're jumping around. Well, it's because the properties still apply, correct? Opposite angles are congruent. 90 is congruent to 90 and 90 is congruent to 90. But this is special because they are all 90-degree angles. But that still applies. Opposite angles are congruent. So how many pairs of consecutive interior, or we call same side interior angles does it have? Oh, you guys, I made a mistake right there. It's not same side interior. Oh yeah, it is same side interior. It has four. Forgive me. I'm being distracted. Okay, so if we add these two together, these are supplementary, 180. These are supplementary, 180. These are supplementary, 180. And these are supplementary. It has 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So the diagonals do what? They bisect each other. Bisect each other. The diagonals create alternate interior angles. And that is again what we talked about yesterday, the Z. If you guys see the Z, these are alternate interior angles. And that means that those are congruent for your convenience. Okay, so like we said, rhombus has 4 congruent sides, and the blank of a rhombus create 90-degree angles. The what? The diagonals, or the intersection of the diagonals create perpendicular, right, 90-degree angles. So if you go ahead and take your handy dandy color, you guys can go ahead and draw a diagonal. Yes, ma'am. And this diagonal. And then how are we going to make sure that we know that those are 90-degree angles? We're going to go ahead and mark them with a little box. And if that one's 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, that's 90 degrees, and that is 90 degrees. Okay, that's specifically to this and the rhombus. And the blank of a rhombus, blank opposite angles. So the diagonal of a rhombus bisects opposite angles. Okay, so this rule still applies. That means that this 90-degree angle is bisected by this diagonal. So quick quiz, what is half of 90? If you said 45, you are correct. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, okay? 45, 45. It is bisected. Okay, now our last one here, oh actually I forgot to fill this one out, and then 11. So a rectangle has 90-degree angles, 1 on every corner. And a rectangle has congruent diagonals. That means that the square as well has congruent diagonals. All these properties that we've been talking about parallelograms not only apply to a parallelogram, right here, these first six apply to parallelogram, these 2 apply to a rhombus, these 3. Then we have 6 that apply to the parallelogram and 2 more that apply to a rectangle, but a square has all of them. Okay, so you need to make sure to remember that. Pretty simple notes today. We didn't do anything super extra. Now the only other thing that I want to do right now is go over 2 homework questions that a couple of you guys had. Okay, so we had a question on number 10, which is pretty easy, and also on 13. And I'm sure that now that I'm going to go over it, you guys are gonna be like, oh, okay, I got this. It says, use each rhombus to find a specific length of a measure. It's telling you that DG is 6. Now, before we even look at this, right, what is it that I know? Well, I know that a rhombus has 4 congruent sides. So you get a 6, and you get a 6, and you get a 6. Now it's asking me, what is the measure of DE? DE, EF, oh, there it is, and GF. Okay, that was pretty easy. You guys can fill that in. Now we have something else down here, number 13. It looks a little bit more complicated, but isn't. Okay, again, we're gonna cover this information up on this side because we wanna pretend that we don't know what they're asking. And now we're gonna go ahead and just fill this in with what we know. And what do we know? That opposite angles are congruent. So this is 130. Now, what do I know? This is a rhombus, okay? So keep that in mind. It's a rhombus. That's what it says on the paper. What else do I know? Well, I know that consecutive interior or same side interior angles equal 180. So if I do 180 minus 130, I get 50. Now, what do I do with this 50? I make 150 and 250? No, I don't. What is this line here? We had it earlier in orange. This is a diagonal. And diagonals, if you guys look back at your rules, diagonals bisect opposite angles in a rhombus, okay? So if I'm telling you that 180 minus 30 is 50, I can fill this in, right? Because I just need to divide it. The same with 4 and 3. Okay, so once that's done, you can pretty much figure out everything else out, okay? So again, I apologize for the background noise. Hopefully you guys were able to get what you needed out of this video, and we're looking forward to a lot more homework turned in tomorrow, okay? Have a good night, guys. Bye.